My name is Meredith Tomlinson, and I am the board president of the Mighty Children's Museum. In researching children's museums and the process and the time and the fundraising that goes into it, it can be anywhere up to a 4 or 5 year process. So we were really excited to be able to do it as quickly as we did in our eyes. So we opened in about 2.5 years. When we were planning out the museum, we definitely wanted to incorporate our community and center it back and not just have random exhibits. We wanted to reach out to people in the community, really make it a part of what our community is all about. One of our exhibits is a farm to market area. Because we're a big agricultural community, we felt that that was an important piece for kids to see and learn and kind of go back to the basics with that. That exhibit itself was sponsored by our very first fundraiser that we did, which was the Farm to Fourth event. And that was the biggest fundraiser that we did, raising over $70,000 in one night. And that sponsored that exhibit. Other sponsorships that we have throughout the museum are McDonald's. They were our first big corporate sponsorship to step up and put themselves out there, which was a really big deal to us because it took a long time to really explain to the community what this concept is all about, because a lot of people weren't really sure what a children's museum was. So we were really excited to have McDonald's on board first. And so they sponsored a small infant play area where, even if you have younger kids that are under a year old, it's soft play where they can come in and be safe and play while the older kids are playing. We have Adina Hospital. They sponsored kind of a mock hospital that has an ambulance and an x-ray area and little babies to kind of interact in a medical setting. And we have Glatfelter. They sponsored, when you first walk into a museum, you'll see a huge tree, and it's called a scarf shooter. And so kind of centering it back to what Glatfelter is all about with their trees and the paper making, but making it a fun, interactive exhibit. We also have an archaeological dig that was sponsored by Hopewell National Park. So we thought it was really cool to be able to incorporate them too. And again, just bringing the whole educational thing back to the museum, but also incorporating what do we have in our community that's offered. And then we have a really cool water table in the back of the museum that was sponsored by John and Barb Robertson. They run InfoSite, but they did sponsor that personally. And then we have a really large light bright that's pretty cool that was sponsored by Pioneer Center. So we wanted to maximize the space because of the higher ceilings in the building. So we did rebuild a mezzanine area. It's currently just an upper area with tables and chairs that we use for birthday parties, which has been a huge hit because in our community we don't have a lot of options for birthday parties for children. So our museum is rented almost every weekend for birthday parties, and that's kind of what that's set aside for. And meetings too. So if any local organization needs a space for meetings, either on a regular basis or just for one time, we're happy to open up our doors for that as well. We've been open since October, and the response that we've gotten, I think, is pretty incredible. Personally, for me, once we were getting ready to finally come to that day to open, I was a little nervous because I didn't know how people would react, because there had been so much time spent involved in planning and putting the exhibits together, but no one had seen anything yet. So were they going to be excited and enjoy it and be impressed? And so far, everything has been very positive. And the majority of the comments that I hear are, wow, this is great. Like, better than I thought. To me, that's what it's all about, is being able to provide something that is safe for the children in the community, that's well respected, and that can last for many years to come. So now that we're open, we've had a lot of great success, and kind of our phase 2 now is going to be looking at hiring a director, which will help tremendously in making sure that the museum is always covered. And more importantly, my goal next is to institute programming so that we have a monthly calendar of different events that are going on within the museum, so that people will want to come in and there's going to be more offered. Of course, the exhibits will always be here for you to play with, but perhaps we can institute some story times, music times, arts and crafts, and things like that to keep it fun and exciting and different on a weekly basis.